All right, look and watch. Look out. It's Keep Up with your boy Stillman Sane.
And Robert Mercado World. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, is this recording? No. We're gonna steal this from TJ Cool Ass again, and Robert, he co-signs. So it's all good now. It's all good. But I just wanted to start off this show. Now this is gonna be a regular thing. I want to see how my boy is doing, my new co-host, my compadre, my amigo. How are you doing, Robert, today on this fine day? Well, it's kind of cold in New York. It's got a little brick, but it's still nice.
It is. I'm doing great. I feel good. I am feeling invigorated by this process. Honestly, I think it's been wonderful working with you, and I think the fact that it's something that we set out to do, that we talked about it, and now just seeing it come into fruition has been really just powerful, empowering. So I'm over the moon. I feel great. How about you?
Well, Robert, I'm not gonna let that get to my head, but
Oh, I see.
just no, it's been a pleasure working with you too, Robert. No, it really is. He has an esteem. He has an esteem. No, Robert, you light up my life. Besides this, no, I'm doing great, and I'm definitely doing much better that you're here because we have kissed on this show. You and me haven't kissed, but on this show we've kissed many frogs, and now we have our prince or princess, whichever one you want to be. Whichever one you want to be. You can be whatever you want to be on this show.
That's fine.
Outside, I don't know how to protect you. I'll try. I have to be in proximity though. I could be like one. I could be like Big Black, fucking Britney Spears, old bodyguard. I could be like that. I got you. I'm like puny and half black, but I got you. We can do this.
Appreciate you.
And mentally, I know you didn't ask, but I'm doing okay.
What are you doing? How the hell are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm not one of those. I've said this on other episodes. I'm not one of those half full type of people. I'm trying a little bit. I never want to be the half full person. I'm just not that person. And I actually think it benefits me because it keeps me hungry. It keeps me striving for more. The fact that I'm never satisfied, that can be a bad thing too, by the way. Like when you're never satisfied, you're never content. But it keeps an edge about me. And so one of my favorite quotes, and if you listen to old episodes, you might find that I said this before. One of my favorite quotes is the great comedian Janine Garofalo. And she said that some people look at things half full and some people look at it half empty. And she said, me, I look at it half empty and there's some cobwebs. The glass is a little broken. Because, I'm just that kind of guy. I just like making fun of the jade and mundane things that happen in life. Seinfeld does it. Curb Your Enthusiasm. Larry David does it. That's just me. But especially with the pandemic and especially a lot of things that have happened in the world and in our personal lives, sometimes we can't tell the difference. It gets a little blurred. So I'm trying to be a little bit more upbeat. Because sometimes it's a little drag on some people when I'm just always like. And I don't know if you ever saw this Instagram video where they had that trend from TikTok. I'm this, I'm that. They had I'm a hater, and I'm always gonna cover it up as a joke. And I really do joke a lot like that. That is my humor. So it really touched me, that joke. I was like this, but I really do. And they said some other shit too. They were like, I'll report it. Like I of course I didn't like your photo. I reported it. That was a good video. It was a good video. But no. Always be doing better. That's my point. I can always be doing better, but I'm breathing. I'm not homeless. I'm doing all right. So I won't make that as lengthy going forward, unless I really got to call a suicide hotline.
No.
Anyway, back to the awards. So let's get on to what the fuck happened this week. Where it used to be a political segment, we still throw in a little politics here and there, but it's actually just the top stories. And since we're on the up and up, we're not gonna give you boring stories, and we're not gonna give you if a kid's head got chopped off or something like that, or if you want to talk about a Middle Eastern conflict, that's not the right show. We're not that place. We're more upbeat, and if it's not lighthearted, it's gonna be funny. So or awkward. So back to this, and this one is a little political. And the reason why we're bringing it up is because a lot of people have different philosophies on it. It doesn't mean that have to be conservative or liberal or Republican and Democrat. A lot of people have different opinions on this. So I want to know where you are on this, Robert. So there's been a few stories over the couple of years during the administration of Joe Biden. And one of his key platforms is he wants to do student loan forgiveness. And right now, I haven't qualified for it. So I'm a little salty about it. I have about, in student loans, I have about like like $5,000 left. I had a full scholarship in Indiana, but the room and board, and especially when I was in fraternity, it was a little extra. So that's why I accrued that. Otherwise, I went to school for free. But it's been a drag. It's been a drag. Like I've had that debt since 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? And I have other things that I have to like financially take care of. I know that a lot of people, because it's a low interest, it's a lot lower interest than credit cards and stuff like that. So a lot of people don't pay it off until literally like the day they die. The Obamas didn't pay off their student loans until they got to the White House, and they were in their like 40s and 50s. So I am a big proponent of it, even if I don't qualify for it. I am a big fan. I know we were talking about Beyonce before, and you made a lot of great points. And one of the things that stuck out to me was paying it forward. And so I do agree with that. I know we disagreed on some of the things that we were talking about in that Beyonce discussion with Erykah Badu and Azealia Banks. But the one thing I really agreed with you on is paying it forward. Nobody has to do it, but it is nice when it is done. So I have a lot of my friends, mostly conservative, and some that are not. Some of them are liberal like me. And some of them are like, well, if I had to pay student loans, so do you. Like, why did I struggle? Why did I get 2 jobs? Why did I do this? Why did I save my money? Why did I sacrifice this? I get them. I understand it. But I just think it's a little petty. I think that, like, in order for a society to do better, you should want the next generation to do better. Even if you worked hard and you're passing off the rewards that you sacrificed for. But like the movie Farewell, Aquafina talked to her mother at the end of the movie, and she was like, why didn't you tell me? Like, why didn't you let me know about, her grandmother's condition? And she said, in the East, we worry about how it affects everyone. In the West, you only worry about how it affects you. So that's how I feel about that. How do you feel, Robert?
I am a person who believes that, hey, if we have all these billions of dollars to put into war, then forgiving debt for education, that shouldn't even be a question. Especially they should be forgiving debt for medical bills and all sorts of things. If we have money for war, then we got money, like money for bullets, money for planes, then you got money for education. If it's just we're at the point where we're just printing money, then hey, then just print that shit and pay my medical bills, pay my education, debt that I have. So I'm for it. Hey, figure it out. If we're able to figure it out for every fucking other thing, then figure it out for education, and it's gonna help people like that. The 500,000 students, loan borrowers who are gonna possibly be helped just because they're not paying it to the creditors and the government's paying it instead, or it gets forgiven or whatever, then those people are going to have money to invest. They could buy a home. They could buy a home. They could fucking do things. They're going to spend their money. The money's not just going to sit there in a vault, and the banks need money in the vault too, because they like to loan all our money out to keep themselves going. So either way,
I'm going to lick that bowl dry.
I'm with it. Hey, I don't have any student loan debt, but I have friends that do, and I would love for them to have that financial freedom and that burden relief because, I do have credit card debt.
Robert. We should have started it there. That's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling in debt.
Yeah, I have debt, and I'm working my way through it, and yeah.
Working my way downtown to the credit score. Actually,
Right.
up on the credit score. Okay. We need to buy a house. Speaking of which, so that was the first round. I know you mentioned 500,000. He has solved student debt for 4 million Americans right now, and that's not nearly enough, of course. Even this last wave, 500 grand, you would think that's a lot. There's so many. This country is literally like a credit card. I was watching an Instagram reel video, and they were asking this French dude about debt, and he goes, "What is that?" Because like over there, they don't even have credit cards. They don't even have home loans, and they do. But if you get a mortgage, if you get a house, you actually have to have 5 times the amount of your income, your salary, in order to buy a home. So it's like basically foolproof. Like you can't. There's no foreclosures. There's no evictions. Like basically, this whole system is predatory when it comes to that. It's not the only one. You mentioned the healthcare system. Jon Stewart broke it down one time where he was saying that like we basically have these hospitals and healthcare systems where they take these subsidies and they don't give it back. They just take the savings and they charge us more. So I think all of this is predatory. I think that we get and as far as investing, it reminded me of the story of Henry Ford. Henry Ford, he was against everything labor, but one day he was in his factory, the creator of Ford Motor, and he came up to one of his workers and he was like, "How come?" He was going around and nobody had a Ford. All the people in the factory didn't have a Ford, and he was like, "Why didn't you have one of my vehicles?" And they were like, "We don't have time." He's like, "What do you mean you have time? We work here 7 days a week." And he was like, "Oh shit!" So he started supporting the weekends just so his factory workers would have enough time to go buy his product. Crazy. And they had been fighting for that for years, and that was like that was like kind of the driving point. Like they were exhausting that labor movement, and they were like, and Henry Ford was the one that pushed them over the finish line. I don't know if you ever knew that, but yeah. So I'm yeah, it's all about buying shit, even when we create new days off.
Nice. Hey, I know Bernie Sanders is fighting for a 4-day work week, so cheers to that.
Cheers to that, and a new pair of underwear.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we're gonna move on to one of my favorites, and I know it's one of Robert's favorite too. What the fuck did we hear? And started off where the hips are not lying.
Okay, so yeah, the hips are not lying. My girl Shakira, no last name needed, from La Barranquilla. Wherever we're meant to be together. She has a new album coming out, and okay, Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran, and meaning the women.
I didn't do enough Duolingo today. What does that mean? ¿Cómo se dice?
Las Mujeres, the women.
The best. Oh, the women. My bad. I get that confused.
Ya No Lloran. No longer cry. So the women no longer cry. Shakira's new album coming out.
Oh, so she's over her divorce. Okay.
Yes. Well, in the song it goes, "La mujeres ya no lloran, la mujeres facturan," meaning the women don't cry. They make that money, that ching ching.
Okay. Bob Marley said that too.
Okay, so. Yeah, so the album's coming out. It's about 17 songs with 2 remixes on it. And out of the 17 songs, about 8 of them have already been released. And it's songs that she had.
Half review over here, just like me.
Right. So the songs that she already had, like Te Felicito, with Raúl Alejandro. I love that song. That was a bop. She was doing her dance thing, like very robotic, and the song was great. Even you would get a kick out of this. There was either a judge or a lawyer, I don't know which, was prosecuting somebody, and they repeated like a verse from that song to the person, saying, because the line is something like that acting of yours, you should get an Oscar for it. So they recited the verse to the person on trial.
Oh wow.
Yes, so that was epic. And then she has her song Monotonia with Ozuna. And that was like the beginning of her sharing her heartbreak tale with her husband Piqué, who cheated on her. Who the hell cheats on Shakira? Like, what the fuck? Then we had, yeah, she had her amazing song with Karol G, Te Cogí, TQG. Okay, Te Cogí, honey, they caught you, and that song was epic. She did her dance moves and all that. The whole album is already a bop, half of it. So I'm having a feeling, she's gonna do amazing. The first single, for when the album drops, which will be this Friday, is gonna be with my girl Cardi B, Punteria.
Cardress, dead. I've never heard anybody call her that. I love that. Cardress. Hello, Cardress.
Cadras B, how are you, my dear? So they have their song coming out this Friday, so I'm looking forward to that. That should be epic. And I know it's gonna be a big girl power anthem. And yeah, so the album is shaping up to be great. I'm sure it's gonna have a big debut. It'll be probably #1, which is good because then Beyonce's album comes out the following week, and that's gonna be #1. So Shakira's only gonna have a week to shine. But just on that subject, Shakira did mention that she's glad that for the sake of this album, it worked out that she's not with her husband, because in a lot of ways he was dragging her down creatively, and I can personally relate to the idea because there's less things for you to think about when you don't have someone to answer to necessarily, where it's like, oh, I don't have to do this for the family. I could just literally think it's
Tell
just
that
good
to
for
Adele. Tell that to Adele. Her first 2 albums were all about breakups. That's like one of the
right,
biggest like fucking inspirations, breakups.
right, and and it's just there's certain things you can't do when you're married to someone, you're in a long-term committed relationship. It's just unless it's just everybody works different, but she's an Aquarius like me. I think she's February 5th. I'm February 4th. So I get it. It's like once you're in that zone, you're dedicated and there's certain things you don't do. You want to spend time with the person. So maybe it's not
What if
such
her
a
birthday was on February 30th?
then then she's still like me, just like Carol G, my other Aquarius, my boo, my
She's
babe,
a star baby. She's a star baby.
Yes,
Okay.
she's a star. So anyway, she's creative, and I'm glad that through this heartache, she's been able to channel her pain into creativity, and be a release for a lot of people who are going through a lot of stuff. But have you heard any of the songs come up on your radio in your
I
circle?
haven't. I haven't. I don't listen to terrestrial radio anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do listen to new music, like not pot playlists. And
Okay.
I think it just came out. The fact that only half of the album, which they're doing a lot lately, it's not just her. When you go on Apple Music, they'll put up like 2, 3 singles, and they'll tell you the release date, and you got to wait until the release is pretty much. And I think that's a smart idea. I think that's a smart idea. Yeah, give us like a teaser, get us like interested in the project. Half is a lot. That's
Wait,
okay. She's been around for a while though, so
wait,
she
let
can
me tell
afford.
you. Sorry, but just so you know, the half of the album is because all of these half of the songs have been released as singles over the last almost year and a half. So
Oh, God, so they
yes,
already
yes,
were released.
yes, they were already released.
So
When
technically, it's not a review. You've already heard these songs. You're just reviewing
it's
singles.
interesting, right? It's the singles that have already been released from the album. So there's still 8 other songs that I feel like she's gonna still go with because there's other strong
So if
collaborations.
it's so if the next 8 songs suck, we're blaming you, Robert.
That's fine, but they're not gonna suck. This is Shakira. She's not taking any L's, not with this album.
Shout out to Colombia and Lebanon. That's where the homie's from. She is so great, Shakira. I love
They
Shakira.
erected a fucking statue to her.
Good. She deserves it. I remember when she was first crossing over. We were all pretty much all big Alanis Morissette fans, and they said that she was like when she was in Colombia, that was like more of her style, like Olivia Rodrigo. They'd say like hers is a little bit like that, like kind of like grungy.
Love
Um,
it.
and now she made her own style. Now when she crossed over, she has like she's not like Ricky Martin. I mean like or Mark Anthony. Her music is way different. I just mean like where everybody knows her. That where like you know what I'm saying. Like she has such a universal style now. It's not just Spanish. It's not just Latin. It's not even just American. It's not even just pop. She
She's a
has her
big
own brand, and I'm a big fan. I love Shakira. I hope that she keeps hitting the Super Bowl. I love that performance. That was one of Jay-Z's first coordinations of the Super Bowl, and I thought that was a great selection, both of them. I would like to see a Latin star like Bad Bunny or somebody, like even a female. I would like to see them headline though. I think that was a big criticism of Jay-Z, and we all deserve criticism. I'm a big Jay-Z fan, and I agreed with them. Even though that was dope that they put on that show together, J Lo and Shakira, they're both big enough to have at least Shakira. I know J Lo is big enough, like just in general, just like her brand. But I meant like musically, Shakira. If you had to like put someone solo, she could have handled it.
Now listen to this. Shakira has had 49 songs on the Latin songs chart. She's only behind Carol G, and she's had 21 #1s in Latin.
Carol G is way younger. How'd that happen?
because she's just super hot in the industry. She has 21 number ones in the Latin airplay, the most of any female artist. On the Hot 100, she made her debut with Whenever, Wherever, which peaked at number 6, but she's placed 27 more songs on the tally in the Hot 100 since her debut. So she's just always been a force since her debut, crossing over, and even on the Latin charts. So she was awesome. But I will say J-Lo also, she has great music. I love J-Lo. I made my own playlist for halftime, and I got a ton of songs I would put on there. You probably never.
I still liked it though, and I've seen her live. She was okay. I still don't think she can sing, but as far as a music act, she's okay. She can dance. Oh, she can't sing, bro. Stop it.
That's my DD.
Yeah, okay. You noticed that she hasn't done the national anthem yet. She don't want to expose herself.
Well, actually,
she did.
And no, but she's gonna be in this movie, either The Kiss or The Curse of the Spider Woman.
That's where she should stay. That's what, because acting is
a musical directed by the director of Chicago, the Chicago film, and Beauty and the Beast. So this is going to be a big Oscar play for my girl J-Lo. So watch out. You're going to be talking about.
We all know how thirsty she is for an Oscar. She definitely deserved it for Selena. And you know what's so funny? It's the anniversary of the movie today. Yeah. I was listening on a podcast this morning, and she was the first actor in history, whether she deserved it or not, the first Latin actor to get $1 million for the movie. So like she was paid $1 million. She was so new back then. She was like basically known for In Living Color at that point.
Act like you forgot.
But like you got Rita Romero. You got so many Latin actors out there that like she was the first one to get $1 million. That's crazy. But hey, I love the role that she played. That's one of the best. Say it again.
She was underpaid too. $1 million.
Underpaid. She was nobody. She had no acting reel before that.
Yeah, but still, it's a starring role in a film that's gonna gross. They probably went on to gross at least over 100 million, probably more.
Yeah, but they didn't know that. They didn't anticipate that. That was a low budget movie.
And they probably lowballed her. I'm sure someone else. I'm sure it was a low ball.
Man, like I said, there's way more Latin stars that should have got paid that first, but I'm okay with it because, like you said, it aged well. The movie is a classic. And I'm a big, I love J-Lo as an actor. One of my favorite films of her is Enough. I love The Cell. The Cell is my favorite of her ever. Like, I think that's where I really think she got snubbed. I think she was amazing in Selena, but I think her best acting performance is The Cell. I think she was so good in that.
The Mother.
But whatever, we're not even in the movie section yet. Yes, you said The Mother. El Cantante, she was good, even though she whined about it for a long time. And she was good where she was a stripper, where she was the hustle. That was good. I like that. I actually thought she should have got nominated for that. I thought she was very good. But she does. But you know what? When you work all your life for those type of things, I got into a debate over that with a Puerto Rican colleague of mine when I worked in the news, and I said that she bitched too much about not winning awards. Like she has been in interviews crying, and she put me in my place. This person, she was like, dude, when you're in an Oscar race or when you're like working for those type of things, like people are gonna mention it anyway. And she's like, yeah, why can't she wear her heart on her sleeve? So I'm with her on that. I get it. Like that's her work. That's something that she takes pride in, and why not? We'll go. We're running out of time, but you can add something if you want. But I just want to get us through this episode. Yeah, no, J-Lo's great. We differ on her singing, but she's a great entertainer all around.
Broken like me.
I'm actually interested in the next few weeks. So we got Shakira, we got Beyonce, Justin Timberlake. Who's gonna win that? Like it seems like Justin's gonna lose this. And I did listen to that album. It's okay. It's better than Man in the Woods. It's nowhere near freaking 2020 Vision. It's nowhere near Justified. It's his second worst film. But I say that as a caveat because it's very hard to make content. So I've never made a full album. You know what I'm saying? And I had a discussion with someone before. They were like, oh, Man in the Woods was trash, even though he had that really dope single with Chris Stapleton, and he had that other song with Pharrell, the one where he was like pretending to be Steve Jobs, and he had the android on stage. That was pretty dope.
real quick that Mariah Carey. There's a Mariah Carey AI singing his song "Selfish," and it was all over Twitter. Everybody for a while it was trending. People were talking about how this sounds amazing, like, and yeah, that's the only time I've ever listened to the song, to be honest, because a lot of I'm a Britney fan, and
Me too. And I don't like, and I read the book, and obviously it's from her take, it's not his. But I've heard a lot of things about him. Not even just, he was at an MTV VMAs one time, and he really played the shit out of even though I don't love reality TV, I still wouldn't disrespect him on stage like that. Lauren Conrad, they were all on stage. What's her name? Heidi. And he wouldn't give them the award. And he's like, bring back music videos to MTV. Like, that was like very inappropriate. So a lot of people think that he's very misogynistic, that he just doesn't respect women, and that he's also a poser, that like he tries really hard to swagger jack the fucking black community. And another person who's a big fan in my circle, he's a huge fan of Justin Timberlake. He was like, oh wow, so now you're done. Like, now that you made millions and you've gone diamond with Justified and 2020, and what was the other one? Sexy Love Sounds. Now it's time to get back to your country roots. You know what I'm saying? Now, and these are his lowest performing albums so far. Right now, I think he is going to go number one. But as far as like the singles, I think only one has charted, and I don't think it's gone number one yet. And he's been struggling.
Well, I'll say this. I know we're crunched for time, but it was also another thing where the Britney fans were really petty when his song "Selfish" was released, and
yes,
they were streaming her song.
What would they do with that? Go Britney fans.
The 2013 "Selfish" song, we were streaming it enough to get her to climb above him several times in several countries to be
like
number
10 years old, right? And her selfish is like 10 years old, right?
And it's written by Esther Dean, of
I have no idea who that is. Who's that?
Yeah,
tell us, Robert, who's that?
Esther Dean's written for Rihanna, a lot of Rihanna's favorites.
Okay, I only know Sia as one of Rihanna's writers, so that's dope.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of new music, we have one of my personal favorites. We have "Never Lose Me" by Flo Milli. I love that song, dope song. I wish we could play it, but we can't. Me and Robert, we differ on opinion again. I thought her last single that she sampled from Missy Elliott's song "She's a Bitch" with Timberland, I thought it was super duper trash. Very terrible. She looked really bad in the video. Like, she looked like a plastic doll. It was really bad. There's a new video for this one, Enough. I think it's way better. I think it's more in line with what she usually comes out with. And I'm not one of those people. I'm down for artists evolving. Even with Justin Timberlake, that was when I got into that debate with that person. I listened to the album like a couple of times, The Man in the Woods, and I said it. I was like, it's hard to keep making good albums. Like, it's very, very hard. I think people don't realize how hard it is. But and so I say the same thing with Cardi B. She's allowed to evolve. She's allowed to make different music. More power to her. She doesn't always have to go back in her trap bag in order to impress me.
Shout out to my boy Steven, Jimmy Moonshine.
I love Jimmy. That's our boy. That's our boy, yo. What the fuck? Yes, just because I don't go to the boiler room doesn't mean that's not my boy too.
Listen, I don't go to the boiler room, by the way.
Oh, sorry. I'm not gonna out where you go. I don't even know where you go. I just know you guys be clubbing.
Right.
And the beach. You guys love the beach.
Yes, we love a beach. I can't wait to hit the beach this summer. But yeah, he's the biggest Cardi fan I know, and he loves the new song. He likes it even better than the last one, and he says that he feels that both of them really, and in particular the last one, captures that original not trap mixtape Cardi B vibe. And I get that. Especially, I enjoyed the first single. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed. The second one was good too. I just know I'm about to lose my shit with Cardi this Friday when she comes out with her song with Shakira. So I'm gonna be in Cardi B overload. So, yep, Cardi B, she's holding it down for me. And I know you're gonna go see Nicki Minaj. So shout out to my girl Minaj. So always shout out to you.
I was gonna move on, but you have one more. You have one from the Grape Juice, Monica. Tell us about that.
Oh, I'll get into this really quick, and it's just Monica. She was talking to Ray J, because he was taking every opportunity to say, "Oh," and I would love to see Brandy and Monica out there headlining a tour together. It should happen. I don't know why it hasn't happened. They should. They should. And Monica's pretty much like, "Listen, do not comment and do not comment on me publicly. I don't need that. Your sister doesn't need that. She's an amazing talent. I'm an amazing talent. We don't need you to do that because there's ways to go about getting these things done. I haven't received any contract, and this is not how I'm going to get a contract. This is not how your sister wants these opportunities to come to us. So we can figure it out, and we don't need you to do that. So just thank you. Enough is enough. Just leave our names out of it." So, and I love Monica. I know you're going to see her, and Nicki
I am. I
Minaj, and
line for Nikki. I can't wait for that. Really dope.
I was at the
All right, we're moving on.
VMAs. Let me
Yeah.
just say, I was at the VMAs and I got to meet Monica really quick, and she was gorgeous. She's beautiful.
Jealous. She's so hot too. Now that you said it, I'm not gonna go along with it. I think a big reason why she did that is because she used to date the Game, and Ray J is very gang affiliated. When you mentioned that story at the beginning, I was like, damn, that's the only way that I could imagine why she would respond to him, because they're in the same circles. So I'm like, not just with the Brandy, like not just from that song. I think because, like I said, the Game is so gang affiliated, and so is Ray J. I think something happened that we didn't see. Anyway, so let's get on to what the fuck that I watched real quick. I have a quick thing about Pete Davidson. I love the show Bupkis. He's been a big drug addict for a long time, and that was a big inspiration for the season. So he got renewed on Peacock, and now they're not going to do season 2 because he's not a drug addict anymore. Or you're always a drug addict, but he's not. That's not the part of his life anymore. He's trying to turn around, and I guess it takes if I was a drug addict or I'm trying to recover, it would be tough to do if that's like my whole character.
Yeah.
All right. You can lead this. You saw the Palm Royale. How did it go? How was Carol Burnett, Kristen Wiig, and Allison Janney? Some of my favorites. Oh, and Ricky Martin. Nice.
Oh yeah. I watched that. It was full of camp. It was full of charm. I thought, beautifully shot. And yeah, I think it was good to see Kristen Wiig back in something like prominent. I feel like people saw her for a while doing Bridesmaids and things like that. And
it's much better than Cheetah from fucking Wonder Woman. Goddamn, she needed to come back from that.
That's a hashtag not my Cheetah, but that's okay. They were going for something that was
only
not
3 LW's my Cheetah.
Okay, that's my Cheetah girls. But yeah, I thought the show was a lot of fun. I think so far it's only 4 episodes, and I sat there and I watched all 4. It was so funny. And just had a lot of heart and charm. Ricky Martin, he looks fantastic. He was in a Speedo a couple episodes, looking great. And it's a mystery. There's ooh, what's going on with this? What's going on with that? I won't give you any spoilers, but it's definitely intriguing, very engaging. Right. Sorry about that, Storm. Storm is dead. No. But
Dark and
yeah.
Stormy is his favorite drink.
Okay, so listen. Everything was I enjoyed it. And we can move right on to the last one, The Quiet on Set. That was intense.
Yeah, Nickelodeon had Dan Snyder, one of their biggest executive producers, while during their peak in the 90s. Right now, the people from Drake and Josh, I never watched that show, but Drake Bell, I think his name is, he got caught in a big child endangerment scene. And so he's been quiet for a while. And a lot of people, including our friend Charlene, they have been very outspoken on what the abuse and some of the inappropriate things that were happening with young people on the set. And now Josh Peck, who is a lot more popular on the Hollywood scene than Bell, he is breaking his silence too. How do you feel about that? That was a big part of our childhood, Robert.
Yeah, I watched this with my mom, and she's like, well, I was like, I never saw any of these shows because we didn't have cable growing up. I didn't have it. So
that's me.
Right. So I'm way okay that I missed these shows because it looked like a lot of sick stuff was happening. He was accused of
you're right. The later ones, not the all that. I get you.
All of them. They
he did. That's what I'm saying. How do we didn't miss the program but he did have some other ones. Like I said, the Drake and Josh I never watched.
Right. He did my show What I Like About You with Amanda Bynes also. He was really trying to Yeah, I liked it. It had Jenny Gar from I Don't Know. I loved that series. I watched that a lot.
She's a mess now, but we're not gonna get into that. She's a mess another time.
Jenny Garth, love you. But yeah, so they were just accusing him of all sorts of things, and telling a lot of stories that allegedly happened, and it was pretty creepy. It was really it was.
He made a statement recently, and it wasn't good enough. It was like, if
Yeah,
anybody felt uncomfortable, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was apologizing for his behavior. Like one woman told a story about how she about her colleague. First of all, her and her colleague were paid one salary to split between the two of them, right? Which was against the Writers Guild of America. You can't do that. And he told them on their first day, allegedly on set, that he doesn't think women writers are funny. He's like, "Can you name me one funny woman?"
I saw that in a documentary. He did say that.
Right. And then, even he told one of them while she was telling a story, "Oh, will you repeat this story and act as if you're being sodomized while telling the story?" Like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Like, that's crazy. That really happened. He needs some help. So,
and not just cancel, he needs to go to jail. Like some of the stuff I heard him do, like he's nasty. I'm pretty sure where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm pretty sure that's what they're trying to add up to with that.
Yeah,
not trying to create a story, but I just feel like that's the direction it's going.
Yeah, it's a sad state of things. With Dan.
So let's move on. We have two more segments, but we're gonna be really quick. Where the fuck did you go? You went to go see a hit Broadway play.
I went to see the hit Broadway play and musical The Lion King. Don't do that. Okay. So
hey, I'm not Nancy Pelosi. I don't got like some fucking African guard. Don't touch Tiki me, Rafiki. No,
oh, you can't call me Rafiki. This is all bad. Anyway, so I went to see the hit Broadway musical The Lion King, and it was fantastic. It was like, whoa, got transported into another world with that. I was just in awe. It was so funny and so delightful. The actor who played Scar was one of my standouts, and then the little kids that were playing the young Nala and Simba, they were like, whoa, all right, you little stars, you're kicking butt already. So I was blown away. I didn't know what to expect. All I knew there was gonna be a lot of puppetry, and it was not as it was a different
animatronics.
Like, it was like they were talking, like they had a hand through to move.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And they're like moving, so they had some of that puppetry vibe going on, and it was cool. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a different medium to experience one of my favorite Disney films, and I was here for it. I think everybody should go see it. Felt like they were really, a lot of people were feeling like, oh, it was one of the first times where something was taking place in Africa and Disney, but why did they choose to have it be based on animals, and why couldn't we get that be like live action, like live with people in it, So I felt like with the musical, they tried to bring a more human side to it, where there was times where people were just in like traditional garb, and it felt like it really went for trying to make it be something that was like substantial, that people from the continent can really look at and be like proud of. And from my perspective, it was a job well done. My friend Indira, she treated me to go see it, and we had a blast. So, what did you think of it when you went to see it?
I saw it many moons ago, and it was beautiful. Everything that you're saying right now, like everything, the African garbs, the traditional, the culture. Don't really highlight that too much with Jonathan Taylor Thomas. So I'm a bit, or Devin Sawa, like they just had Tim Rice, Elton John. It was majority white, Jeremy Irons. So I'm glad that it gets back to its roots. Speaking of sticking with its roots, right before we move on, we could talk about it later. But here's a little update. They have a new James Bond. It's the guy that played in Kick-Ass. He's the first Jewish. Yeah, they actually formally Aaron Taylor Johnson, the guy from Kick-Ass, the guy from Marvel. What else? Savages. Love him. He's a great actor. Big fan. Congrats to him. It would have been nice, Idris Elba. It would have been nice, a person of color. But shout out to him. He still deserves it. He's the man. Big fan. All right, next topic. Last topic. What the fuck did we say? We take like it's a segment about nothing, And it's been bothering me lately. I have a few people in my life. Some people think I have no hairline. I don't know why. But whatever. It might be, might be getting a little light. Um, Robert, this is not a personal question, but when is it time for a man to shave their head? When is it time to say goodbye?
For a man to shave his, I don't know. You know, I will say for me, I have a shaved head, as you can see, and I struggled
Beautiful. It's beautiful,
with.
Robert.
Thank
And
you,
you do a
thank you.
great dry shave. You do a great dry shave.
Right, you know, they don't know that you cover my bald head in grease and rub it on your belly like Seinfeld.
So
No, but
do it,
it was
George. Do it.
right. It was something I struggled with. You know, I lost my hair early, like in my like early 20s, and it was like it
Wow,
can
that is
feel like really it can challenge your self-esteem, you know, and people don't this world, it's like it's such a social media world. It's all about the pictures, and it's hard to see yourself in a different light and like have to admit like there's something about you that's kind of almost like aged, right? The idea that you don't have hair that's connected with not being youthful. So it's like really embracing the fact that you have aged, that you are a certain age. And it can suck. I'm glad that um, you know, that I people have always complimented and say, "Oh, you look great bald." So you know, I appreciate that. But some people they don't have the beard. Like the men use beards as makeup. They say as contour. So I have the beard at least, but some people they don't have a beard and they're like, "Fuck, I gotta hold on to this hair," you know. So I get it. It's tough. I think it's you know you got to do it when you're ready. No one can tell you when to do it. I think that you will look healthier and more beautiful that if you shave it instead of having thinning hair, because that was my issue. I had a lot of hair mostly, but then the fronts were just so thin that it didn't look good. It looked like I was holding on to something when I could just look amazing and beautiful, just bald and look great. Like it's a
True.
style choice instead of like it's like desperate, you know. But you got to
Speaking of
make
which, speaking of which, that's the people I'm calling out. I and me personally, I like having the option. But if I ever started going bald, I would just bald. You're right. I would just shave it. Like the first signs of it, it's time. I've had a great run. It wasn't in my early 20s, so like I've been blessed. But if it happens in like my 40s, it's I say probably, but I'm not a hair clinician. I'm not a doctor. But my family, there's no bald people, like zero. My dad, he's not going bald, but he picks the back of his head, so he kind of fucked himself with that shit. And I don't know why he did that. I think it was like ingrown hair. Sorry, Dad, that I'm like talking about your business like that.
thanks.
But it's the people with like dreads and like ponytails and stuff like that, and then they got the bald up top, or they wear a do rag to hide it, or a hat, and then you'll see the ponytail in the back. But then when they take it off, or the people that like you said, the spotty, and they still got the long hair in the back, give up. Just like I gave up when people were making fun of my hairline on TikTok, toxic TikTok, Joe Biden's TikTok. Give up, guys. Give up. And that's it. That's it. Unless you got something to add, Robert, we got to get you out of here so you can fucking work the fuck out.
I will just give you a little story.
Of
When I
course.
was a young balding gentleman, I was working in retail. I was not comfortable with balding. Like I said, I had enough hair that you know it can still make a shape up. And one of my moments of desperation that I'll share publicly
You
was
definitely gave me vision with that one. That was good.
right was I would
With
at some
LeBron, the way
right,
like he draws on the hairline, like
but that is a good segue because I would use mascara to darken the area. So one
oh,
time,
you were holding on. You were holding
oh,
for dear
yeah,
life.
I'm like
You like
23.
Sylvester Stallone in Cliffhanger. You were like,
I'm 23, 22, and I could not deal with it. So
nah,
I
that
was
is
using
devastating. I'm not gonna
mascara,
lie. That is
and
devastating. That's bad
you
news.
know, I was using mascara, right, to
Mhm.
to to color it in. And one of my good coworkers, one of my buddies, she would tease me when she see me. She'd be like, "Ah, you put the mascara on today." I'm like, "Haha." But one time I was busting out a sweat because I get very sweaty, and I had a whole fucking Giuliani going on where one of the ladies was like, "Oh, you have like a black drip going on," And I was like, oh, it must have been the oil from the denim bar got on me. Oh my
You were working
God.
on your acting with that one. You were your improv.
Yeah, that was improv. Like, fuck. Damn it. So, yeah, just,
Quick question before we go. Would you rather go gray in your early 20s or bald? Like full gray, like full like white
well,
hair.
I would have preferred, if you would ask me that, I would have preferred to be gray because I could have dyed it. Bald, there's nothing you could do for bald. There's nothing. They try, you can get, everything's expensive. It's the hair implants or whatever. So unless you see me doing a Hims ad soon, then maybe my tune will change.
Keep it to the blue diamonds. Don't.
Okay.
By the way, on that Ricky Siddiqui movie, they got a really good hair plug joke. Stay on the lookout for that. But it's all good. Where can we find you, Robert? Where can we find you on the great old internet?
You can find me on the interwebs at Robert Mercado World on most social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On YouTube, you can look up Robert Mercado World Productions or Robert Mercado World, and you will see me pop up. So keep up with me. I appreciate that. And how about you? Insane.
Right, that was the Oscar movie. We were the Oscar music. Pull that motherfucker out. No, I'm joking. No, I'm joking. You can find me on stillvinsane.com. You can find us on the Linktree. Keep up. You can just type in Still Insane. We're everywhere that you download your podcasts. We are also, like you said, the Instagram account Still Insane. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Let's go this a little bit. Right? Try to follow us. Try to hit the notification buttons. We are try to support us on Patreon. Whether you're hitting us up with $1, even if we can't buy a coffee in New York for $1, but we'll try. We'll add up those dollars, and the more that you give us, like, it's entertainment. We're like the better we can entertain you.
It all goes back to the show, guys. It all goes back to the show.
It's
so
true.
Please,
I'm too stupid to embezzle. I gotta put right back to the show.
I just want to say yes, please. If you can, like and share and subscribe, and share with your friends. Even if you're just watching a moment of it, and you show a friend, and hey, maybe that'll get them started with watching the show. It means a lot to us. If you see us post something on our story, if you reshare it, screen record it and reshare. You know how many people I've done that for? It means the world. So hey, if you can support us, you don't have the money, but you can at least hit the share button. That means a lot. We know that you're thinking of us, so we appreciate that.
Otherwise, we're just gonna be homeless next week. It's all good. You better shut the fuck up. You better listen up, and you better keep up with your boy Still Insane
and Robert Mercado World. Hey,
over and out, homies. Oh man, next day, motherfucker.